Welcome to TPN the Walk-On. And now from the Bet Bunker in Brooklyn, here is your host, Joel Wolkowski.
Hello, viewers. Hello, listeners. For the Props Network, this is TPN the Walk-On. I put the walk in the walk-on. I'm Joel Wolkowski. I'm putting the talk in this show. Comedy, gambling, sports, analysis, statistical models, but it would all be impossible. We wouldn't even get off the ground without the man over there in the John Wilkes, the techie trekkie himself, Brian Allen Mitchell.
I am the Apollo 13 to your America. That's how it goes, you know?
Apollo 13 was the scariest movie experience of my life.
Weren't you on pins and needles? You're like, hopefully Tom Hanks gets back here.
Well, I was watching it. The theater lost power because a tornado was approaching. So we had to stop the movie.
Yeah.
And then we had to just like line up against the door.
Right.
So you really had that anguish coming through there. Like Ron Howard, like...
Yeah.
For him to control the weather and give me that cinematic experience, hats off to him.
Why you going to a movie theater during a tornado storm?
You know tornadoes. You're a Midwest boy.
Yeah.
They just happen. They drop out of the sky. Things shift very quickly.
They do shift very quickly, but most time there's like a news, one of those broadcasters like, hey, there might be a tornado later. Just FYI.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't my choice at the time. I was a boy, but I do remember being.
I was a boy that I wasn't allowed to be controlled by things, and it's true. Hey.
Look, if you wanted to find my bad choices, you don't need to go back to my childhood. You can go to about 5 hours ago.
5 hours ago.
Yeah, I'm going to the dentist.
Right.
I'm getting a cavity filled.
Who's your dentist?
He's a listener of this show.
Great.
And he's a nice guy. He's a little impatient with his workers. I've noticed that. But
this is a great Yelp review.
But as he's drilling, he tells me he voted for Trump. I bite my tongue. I was like, well, you're going to make money in the market.
Okay.
And then he tells me he's cheering for the Packers to win the Super Bowl. And then I'm like, okay, everything you like can go to hell. And you wouldn't believe that.
Huh.
But my cavity's now in terrible pain.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, cavities are no joke.
He leaves that little ledge up there so it cuts your tongue.
Ooh.
There's a little bit of blood coming out.
Okay.
You don't like it.
No.
And yeah, I got the oral fixation, baby. Ask my girlfriend. But
I won't, but okay.
this is going to be a hard show for me. I'm going to be distracted all the time. I'm in a little bit of pain. It's hard for me to talk, but we are going to get there. And it's on me. That's my mistake. I piped up to my dentist. I should have let him go on, talking about this terrible team that's destroyed the country. We know the supporters are just like the worst awful people. But I had to shit talk the Packers there.
Yeah, I mean that's your MO, and that's fine. I'm glad you did.
Yeah, and the Venn diagram. Packers fans, Donald Trump supporters.
And just right in that kisser right there. Not good.
And I messed up.
What do you mean?
I'm waiting on my victory. I was unable to claim my Biden bet.
You're not going to be able to claim it.
I'm going to be able to claim it.
No, Trump's going to be like, no. And then he's going to be there for a while until they kick him out. They legit, but he's going to say, I had squatters' rights. I'm allowed to stay here. And then you have to wait until February.
Yeah, I am. As of now, I think I have to wait until December 13th to get the wager. I called up the offshore site I use. I'm not going to name them.
Did they have? I'm surprised they had a phone number.
Oh, there's a lot of phone numbers. They're like, Mr. Wolkowski, how are you?
How are you doing? Did you have to press 5-8 times so they can send a code out because it's offshore? It's not the best.
Somehow shady gambling sites have better customer service than anyone. It takes you 4 years to get on the phone with someone from Verizon, but
they keep moving you around to different departments. That doesn't happen in offshore gambling. It's like, we only got this one. We're going to stick to it. I like that.
Yeah, it was easy there. So I'm in trouble. And I'm pretty offended.
You're in trouble, with the law?
No, not with the law, with my bankroll.
Okay, that's kind of like the law.
So without Donald, I get the money if Trump concedes.
Okay.
But he's not going to concede.
That's
we know
correct.
that.
Ain't.
And I think that's a little rude for someone who owns casinos to hold up a wager.
Hey, he knows the game. That's why.
Yeah.
He knows how to do this. He's been. I was on what's his face? Bernie. Bernie said 2 weeks ago he had a little Monday morning politician, and he said that Trump was going to do this, and he's done everything by the book.
Everything by the book, and that's why I do place all my wagers. I send them to Bernie first. He looks them over, and he's just like. And when he talks about the 1%, he's actually complaining about the VIG.
Yeah, he knows. He knows what he's talking about. It is 10% on the Buccaneers.
Everyone can do an impression here, but me. I can only do an impression of Duncan Robinson.
And that's good.
Yeah, that's good. It's my only one. You can check me out at the Oklahoma City Funny Bone this Thursday. So you guys watch the Miami Heat? How about that kid Duncan Robinson? Like that's the most esoteric bit you could do. So, but I knew this might happen.
Yeah.
So I had my back against the wall.
Boo.
So when I threw out that $1,000 wager for Joe Biden,
Crazy.
I didn't make it $1,000 wager. I made a $970 wager.
Oh, even better.
Because there was a sure thing on the docket last week. The Packers versus the 49ers.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I got that line early. I got it like Packers -5.
Great.
And they could have made that thing Packers -19. It would have been
Didn't matter.
good.
Yeah.
First of all, everyone on San Francisco is either hurt or COVID or they live in California. So like a lot of things wrong with them.
Right.
But it's a revenge game for Green Bay.
Yes.
They got embarrassed 4 days previously. So I loved them there.
Yeah, it was an easy game. And Aaron Rodgers could have slept for a little bit. He could have just took a couple sacks. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. I don't care. It was just such an easy game.
Yeah, but he wanted to play the whole game because he had no family in the crowd watching him. He's in his hometown, you know.
Right.
He's got the seats that were earmarked for mom and dad. They were going to be empty anyway, but they were especially empty that day, so he had to play the whole thing.
It's like, Dad. Where are you, Daddy?
But I've been riding out that $130 all weekend.
How much you got? How much you got now?
I've got $237 there now.
Ooh.
So it kind of forced me to eschew my normal gambling, which is like take, pick a side, throw down. Here I really had to do some hardcore analysis. So then Friday night, I like to put on I like to have a game on while I study. Friday night's a good time for me to get my work done. Okay. So I had a miraculous win that set me up nicely. So I did BYU plus the over.
Oh, that's great.
And they miraculously hit the over. At halftime, what do you think the score of BYU Boise State was?
Oh, they were up for a little bit. So it was like 20, 25.
Halftime score, 10-3.
Whoa.
And I had an over-under of 61 that still hit. I didn't even know it was going to hit.
Wow.
Like
that's incredible. That's some mental. You went into the future like little Michael J. Fox, and you got that almanac. That was a great win.
Yeah, I got the Biff book. So I'm good for it. So then I rolled it on. I looked at every college football game on the slate.
Yeah.
And I thought the safest bet was UNC money line.
UNC money line.
And the Iowa money line. I put all $80 on that.
Oh boy.
Won.
Ooh.
We got 120 going in. We have like 120 going into Sunday. And then again Sunday. Just look what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I thought Phil Rivers would have a lot of trouble against that Ravens defense.
And he looked like it. He was hapless on the ground.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Wasn't that fun?
That has to replace the Teron Lue step over, right?
Oh, that definitely. No one should make fun of Ty Lue anymore. He's won a championship. Give it all to Phillip Rivers now. That was so funny. I mean, that is comedic. It should be that Sunday football blooper show. That would be number one.
Yeah, and it was Marcus Peters who had the fumble return, right?
Yeah.
And he went out of his way to jump over Rivers, which normally in any circumstances you could just trip over a guy. He could raise his foot. Rivers just grasp at the ankle, looked like a toddler. It was amazing to see.
Just like a little puppy. Just I can get you. It was so great. Sorry, Phil. Sorry, Philip. Couldn't get it today.
And from there, those bad boys, they cashed out a little late.
Yeah.
So I liked a lot of teams. I liked the Chargers, but I was too late.
Oh, you should have said that was such a fun game to watch.
Every game is fun involving the Los Angeles.
It's like a soap opera. It's like a legit soap opera with that Justin kid. He's so good.
And he'll never win a game.
He will never win a game. He's not allowed to win a game.
No, it's perfect.
Sorry, guy. I know you want to be an NFL player, but you can't win a game.
Yeah, we need you to be you own the 4 o'clock slate.
You own it. We're going to give it to you for 15 years. Just don't win a game. And you got yourself a deal.
Yeah, Justin Herbert. I'm debuting a nickname for him.
Ooh.
Mr. 405.
Ooh, I like it. That's
He's
good.
not going to be at the 425s. He's going to have the 405s the rest of his career, losing by 1 possession as Anthony Lynn just blows a game into oblivion.
I wouldn't blame Anthony on this one, finally. I finally give him a pass.
I would blame the refs.
The refs are terrible right now. They suck. They are. You don't hear anything about a ref getting COVID. So there's got to be a couple of refs getting COVID and being bad. Because every time an NFL player gets COVID, they suck for at least 2 weeks.
And all these refs suck anyway. And I didn't notice anything too bad in the 1 o'clock slate.
No, everything should be good. Yeah.
But that 4 o'clock slate, we had Cowboys, Steelers, we had Chargers, Raiders, and we had Cardinals, Dolphins. And I thought the refereeing was a little bit one-sided in every one of those games.
Oh, they were giving it to the Steelers. The refs wanted to give the Steelers a game very easily, but my boy Gilbert from the Cleveland Browns, he was there. We cut him because he's not that good. But he put up a show the Steelers probably were playing half-ass, probably. But
no way. The Steelers defense is not built to play half-assed.
I know, but just for them to let him score a little bit, it would just seem a little strange. Is it that they finally, no one's really scared of the Steelers defense and you can still put up points. It's okay. They're not the steel curtain. It's not happening. And there was I think a defensive player. It's Lawrence on Dallas was there's no elite teams right now. And there's not going to be elite teams in the NFL when you're during COVID season. Ain't happening.
I would disagree with that, but different strokes for different folks. He's playing on Sundays. We're watching the Chiefs, who did have a close game versus Carolina.
That Patrick Mahomes guy, he's a dog. He's just one of the coolest guys in the world. And his State Farm commercials, him putting ketchup on a steak. I'm just you're a fun guy. You're just a fun guy. I'm really excited for him to just throw a sidearm for an entire season. I'm fine with that.
Own a baseball team. That's the one thing that'll get us interested in MLB that isn't gambling.
Yeah, that's easy. That's easy gambling.
Oh, a football player owns this? Cool.
Everyone's going to love it. It's no, it's still baseball.
So, I somehow have money to play with. I am on the Patriots tonight.
Okay.
-9.5. Your boy, Sam Darnold. He's out. You said you liked them to win because you thought Sam was going to put it all together. The Patriots have 19 guys on the injury report, which
for sure.
I believe is a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot, I guess, if you're talking for a football team. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I don't care about Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco doesn't care about football. He just cares about his cool hair, and that's all he has to care about. He's got a Super Bowl ring. What else does he need?
Yeah, but where's Joe Flacco from?
Oh, Delaware?
Delaware. It's a week of Delaware wins. So you don't think Joe Flacco?
No.
I don't think Darnold's hurt. I think they put him in. Biden made his first phone call as president-elect was to Adam Gase. It's just put in Joe.
Hey, it's me, Joe. Put in Joe. No, that's oh boy. You think Joe Flacco cares about anything that's not Joe Flacco?
Yeah.
Okay.
People from the DMV area are crazy. There's no one is as proud of their home as people from that area. I'm going to read you a text I got from friend of the Props Network, Donnie Sengstack, over the weekend.
All right.
Okay, hold on. This was not in our outline actually. So we're audibling Omaha.
Omaha.
Okay, so this is we're talking during that Colts Ravens game because Amani's like, Phil Rivers never beat Maryland when he played for NC State. He has only one win against teams from the state of Maryland all time. That's a stupid stat.
It's a very stupid stat. But hey, good digging, Donnie.
Yeah, Donnie, that he pulled that up in between like Googling brackish water, which I unfortunately know because I hang out with Donnie.
It doesn't sound very tasty, and I'll stay away.
Yeah, I did shows in Baltimore with him a year ago.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, after the show, I can show you guys around Maryland. And I was like, oh, cool.
What is there? If Steve Francis isn't there, I don't care.
Yeah, Steve Francis, if there isn't one of the most disappointing point guards of all time there.
Stevie, no.
Do you remember when he was voted as an all-star starter?
Yes.
And he couldn't score?
It was very upsetting.
And the entire storyline of that game was him trying to score a basket. He couldn't make it happen, and he just looked so out of place.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the tipping point for old Steve.
Yeah, it's one of those things. You just get exposed a little bit, but he's still one of my favorite point guards. In my heart, he's good in there. I like him.
I liked him a lot. I've always kind of liked the Rockets teams.
Yeah.
I like those Steve Francis teams, but in hindsight, I think that dude was messed up a lot.
Oh, yeah. You're doing a little before a game a little bit. I've heard it happen before.
Yeah, it's the NBA in the late 90s, early 2000s. People didn't start caring about their bodies till 2011. Dirk beat LeBron once, and then everyone got locked in.
Right. There was that one commercial where LeBron was training in the pool. Then everyone's like, okay, I got to do that. But before then, is drinking that Krypnotic, that teal drink. Everyone was
hypnotic.
See, yeah, the Superman's drink.
I mean, that would be a great name for it, Krypnotic. The color's right. And so we're going to go. We've got a great episode here at TPN The Walk On. We're going to do a whole walkthrough of the Masters. Noah Savage from ESPN.
Woo!
He's going to be our caddy. He's going to talk us through the
I like that.
The slate. But before we do, it's Monday.
Yeah.
So we've got to go through the slate for next week's NFL.
Yeah.
And talk about what we learned.
What did we learn, Joel?
Okay.
That the Titans are fake. They're fake tough. That's what I want to say.
Maybe. I mean, we've got a really good Thursday game. I think this Thursday game could well determine the AFC South winner.
Yeah.
And we've got the Colts at the Titans. The line favors the Titans by 1.5.
Right.
And
1.5.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
No.
Come on, nerds. Come on, stat nerds. Give me a better line than that. You know that the Titans might trounce the Colts, but I don't understand that. Everyone's being too safe with that.
But I don't know. The Colts, I think they kind of knew they weren't going to beat Baltimore. There was no aspiration to really move the ball. This is the kitchen sink game. This is where you're bringing out, when a team's desperate to win like Dallas was yesterday, you see these innovative play calls. And I loved that kick return play Dallas had.
That was pretty cool.
Where he threw it across the field, and it was called back on some ticky-tack penalty that was took 15 yards away from it.
Yeah.
That stunk. But I think I'm leaning Colts here. But from as far as this past week, I thought they played Baltimore pretty closely.
Pretty close, yeah. I mean, it was just those small little, just those small little instances of Phillip. But you can't just give them defensive touchdowns, the Ravens. And with the Titans there, I think their line is good, but everything else isn't that great. So this is a great Phillip. I am going to bounce back. But does Phillip drink some sort of elixir to get back to Phillip Rivers? Because we saw that last week, and he was playing lights out.
I mean, given his demographic, he is the sort of person who would buy a literal snake oil, so he might be having that before the game.
He might have been out for a little bit.
Someone in a seersucker suit's going to roll up outside the Rivers residence. He's going to bring the calliope, and he's going to have a whole show, and then he's going to sell him that snake oil, and he'll be good to go at Thursday night.
We'll see. He's going to need it.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I think silver water is what my dentist put in my tooth, actually. Yeah, but this game, I thought the Titans, there were a lot of games in the early slate that were not as close as their scores.
Yeah.
And the Titans, they won by a touchdown. That game was never in doubt.
No.
The Bears' offense was...
Their offensive line is awful.
Their offensive line is awful. Their quarterback play is awful. And their whole system is predicated on wantonly throwing down the field. So that's a bad mixture right there.
Yeah, when I was watching that game, I just saw that it's just a combination of things. When you have a bad O-line, when you get exposed there, and then when you have a average quarterback that, really needs a good line, it's just a calamity of just failure. And Nick Foles, he's not going to pull anything out of his hat. He's not going to slice the defense. He just needs 3 to 4 seconds. And then I'll throw it down, but it's not going to be great. But they had so many offensive penalties. It was just like, what? You guys keep shooting yourself in the foot, in the face. It's bad.
And when Nick Foles had his best performances of his career, who was the guy giving him the plays?
Oh, that the Eagles guy.
Frank Reich.
Yeah.
Current coach of the Colts. And I know Vrabel, like the football intelligentsia, they've taken him as like, he's the next great coach. He's got highlight reels put out after games. I think Reich's a better coach than Vrabel.
Yes.
I think the Colts are a complete team. If you put Matthew Stafford in for Phillip Rivers, this is a team that could win the Super Bowl.
They would have lost one game. Because Stafford can throw, and he gets... I feel bad for Stafford because the defense lets him down all the time.
Yeah. Do you want to jump ahead to Washington at Lions, our next game?
Oh, one sec. Wantonly, for you're saying for Nick Foles? There in the chat, someone says wantonly.
No, I've never met wantonly. I've only been to Mexico once, and I didn't meet a single Italian guy down there.
Okay.
He used the word wantonly, though. I mean, is that a word?
Wonton, but that's why I prefaced this show with the fact that it was going to be difficult for me to speak as my mouth is periodically filling with blood. And, the Lee on the end, that wasn't a choice. That was me gurgling as the repercussions of trash talking, the Trump administration and the Packers to my dentist just curdled its way down my throat.
Yeah. Okay.
So, if you do want to come correct my grammar, you're welcome to look at you're welcome to just sit down with me as I go to my graduate level courses every fucking night. But, you can correct me. Yeah, Wonton Lee. That just sounds like a star from an Asian blaxploitation film.
Yeah, and he's one of my favorite actors. So,
I see that for you. Who said that? Was that Jamoke?
No.
Jamoke's in trouble too. So I don't want to speak unclearly. I don't want to delve into the realm of hyperbole.
Yeah.
But I think the Lions' first half defensive performance yesterday was the worst play I've ever seen from a defense ever.
Yeah, and also the Vikings, when D. Cook, he just makes that offensive go. He makes that offense just go. And he just got wrapped up in just not making tackles and letting this guy run free. So...
Yeah, Dalvin Cook's an incredible player. He was a little bit banged up, and I thought he would be the star for that team moving for this entire season.
Yeah.
And it took a while for their pieces to get in place. Justin Jefferson's producing. They had so many draft picks last year. It was going to take a while, especially with a limited preseason, for them to get up to speed. Mm-hmm. But the Lions have no excuse. I know they didn't have Trey Flowers, but I was watching that game. The first half was so frustrating because Stafford had 15 consecutive completions with no practice for an entire week.
That's incredible.
They had, I believe, 75% of the time of possession, and they weren't in the game whatsoever. If the Lions were to merely have just conceded a touchdown and an extra point to the Vikings every time they touched the ball, they would have given up one less point in the first half.
That tight end, no one knows how to cover tight ends on the Lions.
No one. We have Jamie Collins. He's a great player, but Jelani Tavai, second-round pick, useless.
Yeah.
Jared Davis, first-round pick, useless. And why does Patricia still have a job?
Because he sweet talked the Lions front office. Like, okay, no, I got it.
And of course, this week the Lions are going to win and they are going to cover because that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
They are the good, bad team. On certain weeks, they can beat up an inferior opponent. We've seen it versus Jacksonville. We've seen them have nice games against Arizona and Atlanta.
Yeah.
And Washington, I mean, they should be able to handle that with the quarterback situation.
Yeah, if the Washington football team wins, I can see Matt Patricia getting the boot after the game.
Yeah, 100%.
There's no reason you should lose that game.
I mean, there's no reason you should give up 27 points and a half to a divisional rival who you have more experience with than any other team in the entire league.
Mm-hmm.
That's egregious. Like divisional games, even if it's like Bengals at Steelers, the Bengals are going to keep it close because they know each other so well. And we have Everson Griffin from Minnesota telling us, oh, these are the plays they run. This is what they like to do. None of that matters at all. The front seven is the worst coached unit I have ever seen in my life. And the head coach is a guy who specializes in developing those positions.
It's not good.
Put a bullet in my head, Brian. Okay, we have Jaguars at Packers. What do we learn about the Jags?
Jake from State Farm is really good quarterback. He's not bad. He's a pretty good quarterback. I dig it.
He's good. The Texans' defense is pretty rough. The tackling from Jacksonville, oh boy, they cannot wrap anybody up.
No, that's not their ding. But yeah, Jake Luton. I'm a Jake Luton fan now.
Well, you like every fringe quarterback. If I haven't heard of a quarterback, I know you've heard of them because they probably went to a MAC school, and you might have their jersey.
I might have their jersey. Yeah, and they didn't look too bad, but they're just they're never going to compete like for the full complete team. So it's fun. They're a good team to watch, and I don't know. I don't think the Minshew madness is over. I think it's over.
I mean, if they're really rebuilding, couldn't you trade both these guys, or are there just too many quarterbacks available right now?
You wouldn't get anything from anyone. Just draft pick wise, there's nothing there.
You don't think the Colts would be a better team with Minshew under center? Because he is kind of like, if he's modern day Phillip Rivers with arm strength, he does everything right. He doesn't make mistakes. And the problem with the Colts and Rivers, it's not the overall offense. It's the 4 or 5 terrible plays per game.
Yeah.
It's the Russell Westbrook corollary. You got to take away those 5 blemishes, and then everything you do so well will just shine.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I like that. But I would do trade up, just do a swap with the 6th rounder and give me Jacoby off the Colts because they don't believe in him. So go to the Jags. You don't spend a 1st round draft pick on a QB, and you just develop your defense because that's what you need more than anything. You don't need a quarterback yet. You have a whole team that you need to revamp. So go that way.
Yeah, so I'm probably going to be on the Packers -14 next week. I
Love
think,
it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a 30-10 game, I think.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then, you got to love this. Buccaneers at Panthers. Buccaneers getting slightly less than a touchdown.
Okay.
I don't know what happened Sunday night. I'm pretty sure the Bucs aren't that bad.
Yeah, they're not that bad.
Pretty sure the Saints aren't that good.
Well, I don't know. I think with Michael Thomas back, you get some more the defense just puts their eyes in different positions. So I think that might have been the issue. But Tom Brady was poo-poo, so that was the big thing.
Yeah, he was terrible, and he had time to throw too. It's not like the defense is what was really surprising because maybe a quarterback can have a bad game. I'm okay with that variance. Mm-hmm. But that linebacking core that I thought was a strength of the team didn't do anything.
No, I think with Antonio Brown, I'm just thinking, they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to light this up. Maybe he's going to come out. He's going to do 200 for 2 touches or some shit. And just really, I felt like that game would happen like that. Just someone's going to lay an egg. But I didn't know it was going to be the Bucs.
Yeah, I was on the Bucs. I figured, you know what? Saints won the first one. Everyone's going to be on the Saints getting 4.5. The line moved down to 3.5.
Okay.
And I saw all that money on the Saints. They had the majority of the handles. So I was like, oh, Bucks take it.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
And did you watch? We both live with our girlfriends.
Yeah.
Did you watch the bubble with Nicole at all?
A little bit. I had it on, and she was like, "Are you done? Are you done watching?" Because I had to watch every game.
Every game.
Yeah.
And during the bubble, it was like you would overhear like, oh, they're talking about social justice or why certain protests or individuals matter to the country at large.
Yeah.
And it was kind of an enlightening thing. And I felt good for like the woman you love to overhear that. And just like, yeah, this is a product I support.
Yeah, yeah.
And hearing Antonio Brown, just the backstory of him was the complete opposite of that yesterday.
Oh, it kind of did a reset. Just reset everything.
Yeah,
You just reset the router there.
That's the most she's paid attention to a sporting event.
Yeah.
And she's like, why is this guy playing? And I was like, Tom Brady thinks he's great.
Yeah. Yeah, Tom says he can make him stronger and faster. And
Yeah, Tom vouched for him. Probably a first intriguing game. We have a meaningful NFC East matchup. Eagles favored by a field goal, visiting the Giants.
I love it. The Giants are weird.
They're so weird. They've benched Golden Tate. Fuck you. I can't swear at the Giants, but I was wrong about their defense. They've been getting a lot better as the season's gone on.
They brought a lot of people from injury has finally came back, and they look okay.
But it's hard to take the Giants seriously when their head coach comes from special teams.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like, if it becomes a chess match between the two teams, I'm going to expect Joe Judge to not know what chess is.
Exactly. He's like, I know, I just need a gunner, and that's it. It's bad.
Yeah,
Joe Judge is
a special teams coach playing chess. He only uses the rooks.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's doing. Oh my god,
that cracked me up. It wasn't funny at all, but
no,
I liked
good.
it.
No, it was a good chess. It was a good chess joke.
That one, I'm tempted to take Giants money line there at home. You say you hate the Eagles, but here you are. You're talking about how the Eagles are going to win the NFC.
They definitely are.
They are definitely going to win the NFC.
NFC East. No,
Oh, they're
definitely NFC.
they're probably winning the NFC East.
I think they have a chance now to win the NFC.
They're 3-4-1. Steelers are 8-0, and they have better odds of winning their division than the Steelers do.
Yeah.
That's
Insane.
I know.
tough times.
Tough times.
That's the real Pennsylvania recount.
We'll see. That Eagles game is going to be because we've seen what Carson does when he gets pressure in the face. It's not great. So if he gets lit up again, I think he might just quit halfway through.
And everyone piles on Wentz, but maybe it's the expectation that everyone comes back from a torn ACL without losing a step.
Right.
Carson rushed back from that injury every step of the way. Mm-hmm. The line hasn't been good. And maybe just with the type of player he was, he'll never be able to reach that ceiling again post-injury.
Tis true, my friend. And it's no good.
Yeah, Eagles at Giants, that's a big stay away from me. Next game I'll be throwing down on great tease candidate of the year. Mm-hmm. Bengals -7.5 at the Steelers. First of all, a lot of people texted me.
Yeah.
If Eric Ebron makes a big play, my phone blows up.
I bet because he's mostly a failure. So.
I thought of you first when I saw that.
Look, when you think of Eric Ebron, you think of me first. I am the first name in the Eric Ebron business. And you know what? He made a great play, but I watched that game. I had Red Zone on my phone, walked the dog, got a coffee, visited some friends, and I heard Eric Ebron holding, Eric Ebron drop, Eric Ebron holding. And then, sure, he made a bad play, but there's a reason he's not number one on that depth chart.
True.
A lot of sloppiness. If somehow, there's a lot of bad plays on tight ends this year.
Yeah, and it's just Kelsey. It's just Kelsey. Well, no, the Dolphins' Mike Gesicki, he knows what to do. He's one of my favorite fantasy football players.
great. A tight end named Mike
Gesicki.
Yeah, like he is a Bruce Springsteen album that turned into a person.
Isn't that what you want out of a tight end? A Bruce Springsteen album?
For a tight end, I just want no mistakes. And I just want solid play, good hands, and I probably prefer them as a blocker first.
No, not this year.
Not this year. Tight ends are running rampant all over this league. And then Eric Ebron, if he's making plays, you know.
There's something wrong with the moon.
Yeah.
If Eric Ebron's making plays. I'm sorry.
I mean, he's a talented athlete, but some people, they get a little nervous. They have
they
drops.
get the yips,
they have holds.
Yeah.
And that's Eric Ebron. So I'm inclined to back. I know it's a divisional game, and I know that leads me to believe it's tight, and I know Joe Burrow covers every week.
He beat the Titans. You think he's going to be all like, oh, I can beat him again. I can beat the Steelers. You think he's going to do that? You know, he does that in the mirror every day. He's like, oh, I'm going to beat them. That's what Joe does.
Yeah, but you don't think this game was enough to scare the Steelers, and we see the Steelers' best game this week?
Well, they got the scare from Dallas, so I bet it will. Mike Tomlin is probably yelling at him right now. They're like, you shouldn't have put up. Shouldn't let the Cowboys put up that much.
So I think Ben got injured. He has multiple knee injuries from last game. So I think the way to handle this is to wait for that injury to be decided. -7.5. Don't touch it now.
Yeah.
I think they're going to win no matter who's the quarterback.
Yeah, that's the good thing about the Steelers. Their defense is so good, you can put anyone out there.
Yeah, so I'm going to wait, and I'm going to hopefully Ben will be ruled out, and I'm going to take him Sunday morning.
Okay.
Texans at Browns.
Woo!
We've got our line.
What do you got?
3.5. Browns favored.
Okay. Well, we got to see what Baker, because he was on the COVID list. So whenever he gets taken off, I will really hope Kevin makes the correct choice. If he can't practice for a couple days, we got to roll out Case Keenum. Just when you have a guy that hasn't been in this is his first year in Kevin Stefanski's system, to get rolled out and not be able to practice that week, I don't like it. I don't like it, Joel. I don't like it.
Not good at all. But the good news for you is that Houston is last in the league in rush defense.
Okay.
They give up 159 yards on the ground each week. And every week we talk about what line symbolizes a blowout. 3.5. That's Vegas's way of saying, we think this is the better team. They can't do it. And it's also recency bias because the Browns played their last game in awful weather against an awful team, Raiders, and they just couldn't move the ball. The winds were too harsh.
Yeah, and hopefully we get Nick Chubb back. So
Chubb's back. He's done.
He's coming.
He's there.
Yeah, I know he's practicing, but he's got to just see how he has a good week of practice.
Yeah, and anytime you get your second best running back, I mean that's good for a team.
Second best.
I'm a Kareem Hunt man.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's weird. No one says that. No one says that on the Browns. Well, he's not. Nick Chubb's okay, but that Kareem Hunt dude, come on, man.
Nick Chubb, he don't even play receiver 40% of the time. And we do have the dreaded 3.5 lurking its ugly head again against my favorite Martian, Drew Lock. He's a weird-looking guy.
He's a weird guy, but he knows how to sling.
I've been referencing the Drew Lock dance to everyone, and that's not a reference people get at all.
No,
they're like, who's
idea.
Drew Lock?
Who is this man?
So I've been doing the dance for them. They're like, oh, okay. It's kind of like when a toddler shows you their performance when they know your parents' friends come over to their...
right.
Oh, that's really good, Joel. You're in your mid-30s. How's that going? It's fine.
To the Drew. But, yeah.
We need better gambling historians.
What do you mean?
Well, I figured... Watching Drew Lock play this year, I think he has a chance to go down as the NFL's all-time leader in backdoor covers.
They did put up some points in garbage time pretty quickly.
He's better at garbage time than the raccoon who lives outside my apartment. And
shout out to Ralph. The raccoon.
And I tried to find who has the most backdoor covers of all time. You think that metric would be kept? It's nowhere.
No.
Like,
You need to make it. You need to look it up. You need to put the stats in for this.
I would imagine the current leader in backdoor covers is maybe Matthew Stafford because he's a second half guy.
Yeah.
Maybe Drew Bledsoe could be in there as well.
Okay.
You want to
think it's Brady?
Brady? No, because he's probably favored. Backdoor covers, because backdoor covers, you got to be a quarterback who throws it a lot on a bad team.
Not comebacks.
Backdoor covers. The comebacks that fall short. Who has the most of those? No stats are kept. And like shouldn't there be some, we have stats on everything. We can't have the gambling metrics. We can't have Tom Brady's career record against the spread. We can't have like the amount of the win-loss. That's good for parlays, but I really do think there is an arm for these big operations to keep gambling stats.
I like that stat.
Looking for like a Walter Isaacson of gambling.
Absolutely.
Who's Walter?
It's not Walter?
No, who is Walter? I don't know who he
Isn't
is.
he the guy who wrote like the Ben Franklin book and all the big historical biographies?
Oh.
I don't know if you're familiar with the comedic principle of yes and, but that was very much at play. I don't know who Walter Isaacson is. Yeah,
He sounds cool.
Yeah,
Walter.
he's
History, right?
Yeah, he's done a lot.
Grad student like yourself would know that.
I'm learning maths.
I think he did a Stephen Jobs book too. Yeah. Wow. He's good. He's done a lot.
Yeah, we learned Johnson, great pass blocker. Okay. Chargers at Dolphins. Weird line on this one. Suspicious line in this one. Why are the Dolphins only favored by 2.5 in this game?
I think that line will go up, right? I think
Has to.
You know.
I think it's kind of fun to bet on both these teams. I had a great time betting on the Dolphins yesterday, and oh my gosh,
What a game.
poor Xavier Howard.
Yeah.
That guy was playing amazing defense, and they called 3 ticky-tack pass interference calls against him. Totally unjustified.
No, when you were talking about the 4:00 refs, this was one of the showcase of just bad refereeing all day.
Yeah, and the Dolphins should have been in control of that game. Even the first touchdown after the intermission, the Miami defender clearly intercepts the ball.
Yep.
He establishes possession, and then the Cardinals player takes it as he's falling out of bounds. I thought that was a Dolphins pick.
That's a catch.
I thought none of those pass interference were pass interference, and like Brian Flores has to be coach of the year.
Maybe. We'll see. We got a couple more wins too.
It's Tomlin right now, but
You're not going to give it to Kevin Stefanski? Well, I'm not being a homer here. Like, he's turned around the team. If they beat the Texans, you got to give it to him.
no, because this is looking at the Browns roster. I see a 10-win roster.
Okay.
And this is the performance they should be putting in.
Yeah.
The Dolphins, they're similar to the Raiders where the talent level isn't extremely high, but you can just tell that they're bought in to an extreme degree. And with football, that makes such a difference.
I was hoping you wouldn't make a great point.
Like, I watch the Matt Patricia Lions every week, and a call goes against us. It crumbles. I saw call after call go against the Dolphins.
Yeah.
They had their resolve. They were steeled. I see a football team that's bought in, that's ready, and is extremely well coached. Everyone's playing up to the maximum of their talent level on that squad.
Yeah. Yeah, back-to-back weeks of just playing hard and just not quitting. And that's just coaching. That's just good coaching right there. Hands down. Hands down to Brian.
Yeah, and how chart 2.5 on that game? They're It's in Miami. The LA's traveling, but it's still a 4:05 start time. There's no reason to put that game at 4:05 other than Justin Herbert. He only plays at 4:05.
Yeah, that's right. That's his slot. We told him. He told him, this is your slot, boy. That's it. But yeah, that's going to be another fun game for Tua because the progression's there. So I mean, I'll give Brian the win if Tua just keeps developing. as the week goes on.
Yeah, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna evaluate Tua." They're thinking about that Houston pick. They're not picking a quarterback.
No, they're gonna get another. You go QB or D. You go D line, and then just call it a day. Just keep stacking that defense up. That's how you win.
Yeah, and we've seen everyone picked a receiver this last draft. I imagine the receiver needs aren't as widespread as they were last year.
I don't think you need it. Yeah.
And yeah, you're just going to have to build around him. So yeah, I'm going to be on the Dolphins on this one for sure. And did you have this with Tua? Every time he threw the ball, I thought it was going to be an interception.
It's the left hand mirage.
The left hand mirage.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Ooh, we're running over time. We started early and we're still going over. Let's go through this quickly. Bills at Cardinals. Cardinals -1.5. I think Kyler Murray could die on the field.
He's not going to die on the field.
He's so good at not getting hit when he runs through the tackles on like a QB draw.
Yeah.
When he goes outside, he gets smacked.
That's true.
He never dives. He's 5'8", and that's on the coach.
Well, yes. If he dies, he dies. Okay.
Yeah, that's the Cliff Kingsbury model. You got to protect him better. This game's got to be a stay away. Bills at Cardinals. I know the Bills looked amazing yesterday. I think this is a good line. It's probably a pick'em game. Just enjoy this one. Seahawks at Rams. Rams didn't play this week. Seahawks look terrible, so we're going to support the Seahawks next week. Easy.
Yeah, their defense was so awful. Like, I'm scared to even put them in that situation. And not having your full stable of running backs really kind of makes them like one-dimensional. And that's not Russ anymore. Like, he needs that running game.
Yeah, but you can't really evaluate the offense just because they were in a hole the entire time. Like, they were down 14 points by the time kickoff landed.
Yeah. But you still run that ball, though. You still run that ball because, I mean, Russ can he pulls rabbits out of his helmet and his hat and his butt. He just knows how to win.
Yep, that's Russ. And then 49ers at Saints. This spread's too big. Saints 9.5.
Easy. That's easy.
Yeah, Niners will cover that. They're not as bad as they looked against Green Bay. They had so much chaos with the COVID, with the injuries, with a short week.
Yeah.
Thursday night games this week are so much. It's awful for these teams.
COVID sucks.
COVID sucks, but we got a vaccine.
Hey!
Well, we don't. I mean, we're going to be last in line because we're so young and healthy, but conceivably, we have a vaccine.
This is good. Good news.
Pfizer, thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
And then Ravens at Patriots. Ravens all day.
Yep.
Touchdown spread. And then Vikings at Bears Monday night. Bears favored by, it opened at Bears favored by 1.5. That can't be the case anymore. No, Vikings favored by 2.5.
Ooh.
Bears money line.
Bears money line?
Yeah.
Okay. They're just, I don't know. Their offensive line. If they don't get healthy, by the week, bringing in some more, just people off the bench, I don't think so. I think the Vikings they cruise. They're cruising. They're Tom Cruise right now.
I'm with it. I agree with you every step of the way. Doesn't that seem a little too easy though?
It very seems too easy. Yeah.
Like with this spread. No?
Did the Bears not just lose to a team that's not as good as the Vikings?
The Titans beat the Vikings when they played. I know that was earlier in the season, and that goes against my hypothesis of the Vikings improving, but divisional game, Monday night, home field.
Get that extra day. You get that extra day to kind of chill.
And the Bears, they have so much pressure on them to deliver their best game.
They need this game.
Yeah, if they go from 5 and they were 5-1, right?
Yeah.
If they go from that to 5-4 with the Vikings just a game back in the division in the wild card race,
they could legit end up 6-10 and just that's the ball game.
And that's how talented that roster. That's a 6-10 roster. Great front seven, a couple great players in the secondary. One of the worst offenses you'll ever see in your life.
Yep.
So that's what we learned in Week 10. And who are we? We are the Props Network. The Props Network, They're the place where bets begin. No, the Props Network isn't a sports book. It's where smart bettors and new players go before the sports book. Why? Because the Props Network has a few things that all bettors need. Exclusive sign-up bonuses, reporting on weekly promos, free betting picks, and live odds comparison for every football game. A visit to thepropsnetwork.com before placing a bet guarantees that you'll be wagering with the best available bonus and getting the biggest possible payout when your bets hit. This week at the Props Network, you'll get $30 free bets, no deposit required from Unibet. 4 risk-free bets up to $1,000 at PointsBet with code BONUSPROPS, and up to $250 bonus credit when you make a new account at BetRivers. And, this Sunday you didn't want to bet Rivers. You can get all these deals and more at thepropsnetwork.com. Must be 21 or older to bet online. If you or someone you know have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER today. Are we bringing on Noah?
Yeah.
Can I pee real quick? Is that okay? Well, just give me 30 seconds. I drank like a gallon of water. Sorry.
It's all right. We'll mark it for the podcast.
Where are we at?
What up?
What up? Okay, we're good?
Mhm.
Okay, so this week, it is November. The Masters are going to be played on the frosty greens of Augusta National Park. Let me start over. This week is the Masters. It's being played in November. It's going to be cold. It's going to be rainy. So it truly is a tradition unlike any other. Joining us to talk through it, it is one of my great friends from ESPN. He's got a great new web series out that I encourage you all to check out, The Chip King. Please welcome Princeton himself, Noah Savage.
Noah.
What's up?
Thank
What
you.
up, guys?
Thanks for coming on. How are you, brother?
Is it just you or is it you and Brian?
It's me and Brian.
Oh, what up, guys?
Hey.
We'll get Brian in the 2-shot. He'll be there. Lean up. You're all hunched over. Like
Oh, my bad. I'm battling through a devastating neck injury right now that I probably sustained golfing.
Yeah.
So I've hit the heavy muscle relaxers today. So I'm going to be real groggy and probably pass out halfway through.
Nice. You got some of those horse guys?
Yeah, I took 2 or 3. They're expired too. Little red wine. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, you're living like John Daly, brother. You truly are a golfer.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the thing about golf, and you guys know this better than anything, there's not a better sport to engage in substances or gamble with. I mean, it's if you watch golf and you're not gambling on it, I'm like, I don't even know how to do that. You need to make picks to make this a fun sport to watch.
So are you a big golf gambler?
Oh yeah, like I don't watch unless I got something in the hopper.
Okay, so let me frame up this segment for you. I got $100 that I'm going to put out there this weekend. Let's go through everything going on with these Masters, and you tell me how we're going to spend that money. Sound good?
Yeah, perfect.
All right, so it's in November. It's normally played in April. First of all, how are these fall conditions going to make it affect the players?
Yeah, well, I think that the 2 things to watch out for is, number one, there are no fans. If you're a golf fan, there's no fans ever at Augusta. They're patrons. There's all sorts of goofy and really like when you first watch the Masters, you're like, all right, this is a tradition unlike any other. And then you dig a little deeper and you're like, it seems like an Adam Sandler movie, like Mr. Deeds. And then he got to make his own golf course because some of them are so random.
The rules are amazing.
You can't take the green jacket with you.
You can't
have to leave it there.
What?
The tickets are incredibly cheap. but they're impossible to get. The food is cheap. They have a secret pimiento cheese recipe. I mean, you go down the line and there's all these random quirks. You're like, whoever started Augusta was like slightly mentally ill.
You're not allowed to run unless you're a player. You can bring your own chair, but the chair can't have armrests. And once when all of the greenskeepers went to World War II, they had cows trim the grass and they ate the whole course.
Yeah, they're like, we want you to be comfortable, but actually super uncomfortable 12 minutes into sitting down. You can sit down, but you're going to hate it. But in terms of this year, guys, think about last year. First of all, how long has this year been? I remember that Tiger won it last year, and I was like, that can't be right.
I know.
And I was like, what year is this? But last year, he's charging. He's going down the stretch. Other guys who are in contention were saying that they would knock in a birdie putt or they would do something incredible, and there's like 8 people kind of smattering of claps. And then Tiger does anything, and it's like a roar of thousands of people. So the first thing that comes to mind is you're playing with no patrons there. And to me, that favors the younger guys. That's just less pressure. I don't care how you put it. You know how it is. You perform a room for 10 people. You go, this is easy. You do the garden, it's more pressure.
Right.
And you can't be a newbie at this course. Like I remember in 2012, like Clayton Baker, I think was his name. He was playing the course for the first time. He took a little sand from the bunker. He was arrested for taking that sand.
Yeah, and the sand is actually like this is like the Wizard of Oz. The sand is made of aluminum shavings or something from mining aluminum.
What?
And then they put food dye into the lakes to make it even brighter. So it's all about the look on TV. They don't let the flowers bloom usually until it's going to time up with the Masters. They'll put ice onto the plants around the course.
That is rude for plants.
Yeah, and there's no animals. There are no animals around. There's a giant fence around. You never see a squirrel.
Wow.
You rarely see a bird. There's a rumor that the birds are piped in artificially. So very NFL of them / NBA.
What kind of rumors that, yeah, these birds aren't real?
Yeah, I know real birds. And when I'm watching at home, that bird is bullshit, man. That's not a real bird.
I know real birds.
So this is going to be a great tournament. I'm going to watch it. It may or may not be delayed because of the weather. I think it's going to be a little bit of a stop and start play. First of all, what's the best bet you want to make if you just want to root against Bryson DeChambeau?
Yeah, well, there's a couple guys that are kind of in the same like echelon, whether it's John Rahm or you want to put money on Rory, who's trying to win the Masters to complete the career Grand Slam. Justin Thomas and Dustin Johnson. Like Justin Thomas is a guy who's incredibly detail oriented. He's a perfectionist. He was in contention at the Zozo and then just kind of fell off late. He just couldn't get a birdie. He was just really struggling. So that rung of guys, you can't go wrong with Xander Schauffele, Brooks at 18-1. But the guy that I really like that you got to throw some money on is Matthew Wolff.
Matthew Wolff. Matthew Wolff is a very chic pick here. Second at the U.S. Open, second at Shiners, and you like those youngins. He's a baby.
Yeah, and I like long hitters at Augusta. And the reason, if you look at a map of the course, like this is a dream course for me to play. Okay, the Chip King has a big slice. Okay, the Chip King hits. All right, I bought balls. I'll tell you a story that'll relate to the Masters. I bought 130 balls for a bachelor party. Okay,
sweet,
with my friend's face on them.
Nice.
And the bachelor party got canceled, so I just started playing the balls because I'm like, whatever, I'll buy new balls next time. When the bachelor party comes back. I hit 130 balls into the woods since about July 5th. So the way that relates to the Masters is this is almost as wide open as you can get for a pro course because holes either have out of bounds only on one side or there's no out of bounds either way.
Yeah.
So if you're Bryson and you're trying to fly it 400 yards off the tee, you're not afraid of hitting it out of bounds because there's just nowhere to go. You'll be on another hole, but you're going to have a look in. And Matthew Wolff is a bomber as well. He hits it really, really long. And as a young guy with no patrons, he's a guy that you look at and go, He's kind of pissed. He feel like he should have maybe won the U.S. Open and maybe won at Shriners. And he's another one of those young dudes who's like, he doesn't care what you think about him, because if he did, he wouldn't swing the club like Jim Leyritz. I mean, the thing is ugly.
That makes sense with Bryson, because like if you look at the odds for who's going to win, the odds for Bryson are way too steep. 8-1 is insane for any golf tournament.
And no, for young golfers out there, that if they say they mess up early in Augusta, do you think they have enough to bounce back from that?
Yeah, you know what? I think it depends who it is. I think a guy like Dustin Johnson for sure does. He's not that young, but Justin Thomas is a guy who just can explode, gets a lot of birdies, and can come back. The guy I worry about, and one of the bets you might want to make to miss the cut with your $100, Joel, is Brooks Koepka to maybe miss the cut.
Whoa. I mean, I know there is a long layoff. I know Brooks was second in 2019, but just from an outsider golf, I'm like you. I'll watch it when I got a wager down, but this is Koepka's sport, I'm thinking. Now I live with Sam, and Sam just tells me Dustin Johnson's the greatest athlete who ever lived, so I got all that, what's the word? Propaganda being put on me.
Well, Dustin Johnson's another kind of really chic pick. He's third in driving distance off the tee, right? He's hot right now. He's number one in the world. He made a 60-foot putt in Houston a couple days ago that kind of people said, wow, maybe this guy is a guy of destiny. And he's a guy with a lot of runner-up finishes. So he's got a lot to prove still. It's kind of the perfect storm when you look at Dustin Johnson, in my opinion. But if you're going to bet one stat at Augusta, it's driving distance. That's what I'm going with here.
Okay, I'm with it. And if we're just going to talk locks, let me throw it out there, because the props for the Masters are amazing. If you're not a diehard golf fan, this is as extensive as March Madness or the Super Bowl. And if you just want to make money, if you get a certain Biden payout in time, maybe you can bet on the best player from Spain, John Rahm, minus 835. That's a lock.
Sergio's out with COVID.
Yeah, Sergio has COVID, so then you're on Rafa Cabrera Bello plus 500, or Jose Maria Olazabal. So yeah, that's my favorite bet. It's insanely stupid, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah, you can bet on if there's going to be a hole-in-one for anybody.
When was the last hole-in-one at the Masters?
Ooh, that would be cool. Did Tiger do it? Tiger had to do it.
I don't think so. But here's my other hot take as a basketball player. I'm betting athletes in the Masters. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Tony Finau. He played center for his high school basketball team. He averaged 11 rebounds a game.
Okay. All right.
And this is what and Joel, here's where you should put your money. Okay. Look within yourself. A couple of years ago, you transformed your body, you packed on the muscle. That's a bet on Bryson right there.
That's a bet on Bryson. Sure, but Tony Finau, he's Mormon. He hits it 315 off the tee, and 6'4", compact swing. I like that.
Yeah, and he rocks Nikes. He kind of dresses like a basketball player. He could have played college basketball, but decided to pursue golf. That was a great decision by him. But you're getting it at 33-1. So if you got to put $10 on that. You have to put $10 on Finau, Joel.
But isn't Tony Finau the guy who got psyched out by Tiger Woods last time? Like he was palpably scared. They were playing together in the final twosome, right? And they just couldn't hang. So that tells me psychologically, and like if you're suggesting athletes, who's a better athlete than Brooks Koepka?
Yeah, but he's a banged up athlete. And to me, the Brooks Bryson feud is one of the best storylines in golf. On one hand, you've got the mad scientist who reinvented himself. He added the yardage, but he lets you know how smart he is at every turn. And then there's Brooks, who's like, shut up, stop stalling, and hit the damn ball. But that approach doesn't work when you're not 100%. You can't just be a meathead, have very little thought into your game, and then have a bad knee here, a bad back. I mean, out in Harding Park, he's getting chiropractic adjustments during the round. I've never seen that before. He's having his hip worked on during the round.
Yeesh.
Okay, that's not great. That's good analysis there. Props to the Chip King on that one.
Yeah.
And he's been tinkering with his equipment. So my thought is he is Shooter McGavin going out in the dark, trying the Happy Gilmore swing.
Right.
Ooh,
I'm screwed. I need more yardage. He's screwed with his clubs this late in the game. Please.
Yeah, that's no good. And
Bryson's living in his head. Sorry, how you guys talk sometimes.
No. Do you want Bryson to have to wear the green jacket? Because he's going to cut with scissors so his arms fit. He wants to do that.
But Bryson, his weight fluctuates, and you only get another green jacket if your body changes. So Bryson's the rare guy who could get 2 green jackets.
If I was a professional golfer, I'd have at least 9 green jackets, given my own weight fluctuations. So I respect that.
Yeah, he's the Mark Gasol of New York comedy.
That's a great call. I'll take that.
And just
Bryson,
for the record, Brooks Koepka to miss the cut is plus 350. So that's a nice little payout there. $10 to bring back 35, $100 to bring back 350. I don't know that. I like that.
yeah, I don't. You know what? I actually thought the odds would be a little bit better on that. Maybe I don't love that. We've already locked in Matt Wolff as a winner, 33-1. I want to go even. I know we're jumping around a lot, but what I love about golf from a betting perspective is you get these crazy odds that when you bet other sports, you go, how on earth could I get odds this good? You're looking at Tiger, the defending champion, 28-1. You're looking at Bubba Watson, 2-time champion, 28-1. You can bet Phil Mickelson 66-1. You got to throw $10 on Phil. Why wouldn't you?
Got to.
I mean, he's the patron saint of gambling. You got to bet on Phil. And we did cover all
and of calves and of chipping. The guy's one of the best wedge players of all time. I worship Phil.
That's true.
And the bets for the Masters are so fun. I've got some props in front of me right now. So this is the most insane thing I've seen offered by a sports book. Hole-in-one in the tournament by a South African player. Yes, plus 800. Should be probably steeper.
Plus 800 should be plus 80,000. That's the most absurd.
Right.
Bad odds. I wish I could bet with the house on that one.
There is a no. You can bet minus 2,500.
Bet no. Hammer the no.
Yeah. How do you spend your $100? Yeah, put it on no South Africans that hit a hole-in-one and you win $4. How about top lefty? That's fun. There's only 4 lefties in this tournament, so that could be a nice place to put Phil Mickelson. Bubba Watson minus 250, then Phil 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it's Phil and Bubba makes it a little tough. But both those guys still hit long. I mean, Phil is 50, and he's still hitting at 312 off the tee. To give you guys a little bit of context with that, when Tiger Woods dominated the 97 Masters, he was driving at 323 that weekend at Augusta. He was averaging under 300 because it was 97. Nobody hit long. Only John Daly hit over 300. But Phil at 50, don't count him out. I mean, what does he care? He doesn't give half an F. He'll go in there and win this tournament.
That's true. That is Phil. That is the Phil mantra. He's like, F it. I'm winning this thing.
Yeah, and I mean, we talk about how the no fans can help the young players, but with conditions being bad, does that maybe help players like Phil or Tiger who've played this course 15, 20 times?
I mean, yeah, and I buy the idea of experience at Augusta more than anything else, because you compare it to another tournament where it's, the site moves around, that sort of stuff doesn't matter. And for all the analytical stuff that Bryson does, it's guys who just like feel it down in their nuts, like Phil and like Tiger, who are going to be able to be like, ooh, that's a little wind. Let me, last second adjustment.
Yeah.
I think if the worse the weather gets, the older, the more experienced player benefits from that.
Yeah.
We pull up the weather report for this week.
Yeah.
Let's get that in play. We've got a lot of information to play with. So we've got a lot of info. Noah wrote us a book report on the Masters so far. So you like Morikawa too, don't you? Do you want to talk to us a little bit about him?
Yeah. So, I was loving Morikawa, and the more I kind of dug into it, Morikawa has unbelievable mechanics. Okay. For me, he's like a Clay Thompson on the golf course. It's just beautiful swing, perfect confidence. What he did out in Harding Park when he hit the green on a par 4 that basically solidified the championship, but he's been very inconsistent since then. And if you compare Harding Park, it's very narrow compared to Augusta. So I don't love him anymore. I've kind of fallen out of love with him, and I'm kind of back in on Rory. I feel like Rory is a little pissed off. He once again got dragged into like a semi-controversy, not controversy, rocking the hoodie. And he needs his Masters just to become a Grand Slam champion. And he's bombing. He's fifth in driving distance on the tour. And so he's got a chance just as much as Bryson to hit it long all weekend.
And two things off that. First of all, Morikawa, he won the PGA Championship, and you might think, oh, that's a great player, that's so promising, but he was a college golfer at Cal Berkeley, which plays their golf at the same course, Harding Park, that the PGA Championship was held at, so that's a huge home field advantage for him. And then if you want to go back to Rory, like, it's completing the Grand Slam, but look at the other times he won the Grand Slams. U.S. Open, 2011 and 2012 PGA Championship, 2014 the Open. He hasn't won a major in over 5 years, so that gives me some doubt there.
Yeah, and he's Tiger Woods' favorite player, okay, in my mind, because he started off his career in this way that was like, oh my God, he's going to dominate the sport for the 20 years like Tiger did, and he fell off. I mean, he really nosedived, not to the point of Spieth, who, I feel bad for him, how poorly it's gone the last year or two. But with Rory, he didn't live up to Tiger, and it just shows how great of a run that Tiger's had. Mm-hmm. But I think he's kind of due. 8th at the U.S. Open, 17th at the Zozo. His mentality seems like it's right. He dumped his, first fiance, married a not famous person. He's out of the limelight a little bit. I like where his head's at right now.
Yeah.
And your notes for these golfers are amazing. Would you do us a favor and read the John Rahm notes to us? Column on the right-hand side, please.
Well, listen, this is called high-level sports analysis, but he majored in communications at Arizona State University,
which is a really worthwhile degree. That's like that's like the bullshit university with the bullshit degree.
Yeah, he's like, I minored in bullshit and I majored in also bullshit. Arizona State has basically the hottest girls on the planet, and all he did was play golf, bang girls named Ashley, and go out there and just dominate. I mean, a golfer who's going pro with a Spanish accent in Arizona, please.
Yeah, that's an easy win. Here's the weather for Thursday. We have T-storms at a 90% chance. Friday, 79 degrees, 50%. So, yeah, it's going to be a shower day, but looks like Thursday is going to be the heavy one.
Yeah, but if we know Thursday is going to be a delay, which of these golfers are going to be better at just, like, getting their adrenaline up and then just putting it on pause for 24 hours? That's a really tough psychological fact. Rory?
Yeah. I'm getting Rory. I agree with Noah completely about he's got this swag that I love. It's a different view from a golfer, and I think he's in a zen spot right now.
But we have, maybe it's Justin Thomas I like because he grew up in the South. He's more familiar with the conditions of these regions during November, and you know what? He's got pretty good odds, 12-1. He's never done great at the Masters. That's what gives me pause there. Best finish, I think, is 12th.
And he had a kind of a rough closing round at the Zozo recently. He was bothered by weather. I mean, he stood over a ball. I don't know if it was 15 or 16 at the Zozo, but he stood over it. He stepped off. There was wind. He stood back over it. It got in his head a little bit. And if this plays normally like Augusta, that's one thing. But if it's going to be swirling winds and going to play more like a British Open Augusta hybrid, can Justin Thomas deal with that? Or is he going to say, what the hell is this? It's supposed to be a certain way down here in the South.
That's a very good point.
A lot of hot takes here, Joel.
I mean,
takes
that's
over
why
there,
we
Noah.
get the Chip King, baby.
Yeah. I love the sweater. What is that? You got a little tiger action on there?
Yeah, this is I forget what brand this is. The guy, Lil Dicky wears this in Dave. I got it first.
Aspirational. Be a Lil Dicky. And
side note, by the way, one time I was booked to do a Midnight Madness at a college.
Yeah.
And the next year they booked a Lil Dicky. So upgrade for them that year.
Those are the two guys who come to mind. I mean, who are white entertainers with charisma and that it factor, Noah Savage and Lil Dicky. How did Tiger win last year? I know it feels like a million years ago, but doesn't that seem like physically impossible at this point?
Yeah, it was stunning, and one of the things about Tiger now is he just doesn't play as much. He's a little bit like, I don't know who you want to compare him to, it's like Kawhi Leonard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got the big injury, so they say, screw it, we're not going to play you in the other events that don't matter. He's out here for one thing. It's waitresses and majors. That's all he's about right now. So he's saving up, and he just came out. He was ready, and he had a chance, I think, to play a practice round that he usually would have played in between two of the days. He turned it down. He was rested. He was calm, and he finished really well. In 2005, he blew it on the finish, bogeying 17 and 18. And last year when he won, he needed a big 8-iron. He got it. He put it within 3 feet of the pin for a birdie, and then his drive on 17 closed it out.
Yeah, and last year, ESPN just published an article about all the little preparations he did last year. So it sounds like those aren't really part of his routine this time around. So that could be tough for Tiger there. And then you kind of flag some guys who maybe were irrelevant, but Bubba Watson, Jason Day, 33-1 odds. I think the powers that be at the props network, they love Bubba here. So if it's in the South, you want to support someone named Bubba. Am I
gotta
right?
give Bubba a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt. I love the Bubba bet. Another guy hits it long and is the lead around the green and a 2-time winner. So, all these guys think that they're going to win going into the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I read an interesting stat that was like 225 guys on the tour have won a major, but only 85 have ever won 2.
Wow.
So Bubba's in that category where he's won at least 2 majors, and he's got the experience, the lefty, elite putter. That's where he really makes his big money. So I love those bets. I love Tiger, Phil, Bubba. When you're going to bet the old guard, take all those bets.
Yeah, Jamilky says he loves Bubba. We got Bubba fans.
Okay, so we got $10 on Bubba. That's for sure. We got $835 on John Rahm to be the best Spaniard. And just in terms of long shots, I like to bet the stories, and I know you're not in on Brooks, but a 1-2 finish for Bryson and Brooks, 150-1. That seems fun to root for.
Got to bet that. Love it.
Got it. Sam looks like he just smelled a fart, which we are farting over here, so that might be why.
Brooks misses the cut better.
Oh, you like Brooks to mix the cut?
That's juicy.
Is there a bet for someone gets COVID or anything? It's terrible, but I'm sorry. I just
You know what?
if you got Sergio, if COVID's got Sergio, it's going to get other people.
I'm looking for the COVID bet. Well, it's in Georgia, so they first have to acknowledge that COVID exists before they put that line on the board.
Gotcha.
So it's tough for them.
Yeah.
All right. So how about these guys who've really fallen off? Like a lot of the players who I kind of know for name value, like Ricky Fowler, Jordan Spieth. It's kind of absurd that these guys are 70-1 to me. Like, do golfers really lose it that quickly?
Yeah, well, Spieth did lose it that quickly, and he was another guy who was going to be on. He was number 1 in the world at one point, and but people expected sustained greatness. I can't speak English, but you understand the point. And he fell off hard. But if you want to play the story angle and pick 1 or 2 of those, take a flyer on it. I'm not against it, but you got to put some money on Bryson for sure, because you don't want to be the dumbass who bets everybody else and is like, oh. That one was right in front of me.
And I do think big picture, Bryson winning is always good for golf. Like Tiger, he put the sport up to new heights of popularity because everyone loved him.
Right.
And I think it's possible for Bryson to do the exact opposite of that. Trump's out of the picture. America needs a new villain. Right. Who better than this Nordique weirdo?
Yeah, and anybody else with his story in terms of, I'm not getting it done, I got to get bigger, I'm going in the lab, I work really hard. That's how bad his personality is, that people aren't super obsessed with him. he's got a great story, and people just are like, "Shut up, nerd!
Yeah.
I'm not trying to hear about your physics."
Yeah, it's no good.
Stop showing us your ripped body. He's the only ripped dude who people say, put a shirt back on.
We don't
Yeah.
need that.
Well, also he leads the league in homoerotic calls by the announcers, where they're like, "And look at that shirt barely staying together on his glistening back as he walks down the fairway with a powerful stride and his bulging." You're like, Jesus Christ. He's not even that big. That's what makes me mad too. These guys aren't even that big. Brooks is like 205, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, he's so huge."
He's a monster. You pulled up some really funny stuff with the announcers in the history. Broadcaster Gary McCord fired for saying they don't cut the grass at Augusta. They use bikini wax.
There's a guy who definitely calls it trim. You know what I mean?
Only when Bryson's out there, baby.
Here, I
That's
got
brutal, though. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah. Here's a bet question here. Can you do a win, place, show for winner, top 5 and top 10?
Yeah, you can do that. They have, when you look at golf lines, they're divvied up into winner, top, like if you look at it's winner, top 5, top 10. So top 10 for anyone is like more or less even odds. Is there a lock for a top 10 finish?
From my point of view?
Yeah.
Justin Thomas.
You
You bet Justin Thomas top 10. I'd be comfortable betting Rahm, McIlroy, Justin Thomas top 5.
Yeah.
And again, love Matthew Wolff. I'd leave Xander Schauffele and Brooks Koepka kind of off that list in that echelon. But all those, that's $30 for you right there. Put 10 on that. Put 10 on Bryson to win.
Okay, so I got 10 on Bubba. I got 10 on Bryson. I got 10 on Justin Thomas, top 5. 10 on John Rahm, top 5. And we're going to do 10 on Koepka to miss the cut. I don't want to do it, but it sounds like the health isn't there for him. We got $50 to spend. Before we do that, I'm going to go and do a quick little ad read. Shout out to some of our friends. And where are our friends this week? You know where they are. They're at BetMGM Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Jamie Foxx and the Detroit Lions. And they are live for legal betting in Colorado, Indiana, Nevada, New Jersey, West Virginia, and now the great state of Tennessee. Are you betting on the Masters this week? Well, you should. How about the NFL and college football? Take some of that action to BetMGM. Why? Because for a limited time, BetMGM has a special signing bonus for Props Network listeners. All you have to do is create a new account at BetMGM, use code WALKON20 to get a 100% match on your first deposit up to $500. That's right. Just enter code WALKON20 and up to a $500 bonus bankroll is all yours. Then you will enjoy all that BetMGM has to offer, earning free bets every week in the Money Monday Club, which is nice if you have something tied up, multi-sport parlay boosters. And this week, you get a $10 free live dealer casino play when you wager $20 or more on any NFL game. And you know if they're smart, like you're just going to automatically win that $10 casino bet. That's how it works. So try BetMGM with code WALKON20 now while the offers last. Must be 21 or older to bet online. Do you or someone you know have a gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER today. And we are back with Noah Savage, the Chip King. I've got $50 left to spend on my Masters wagers. We're going to figure out how to do it. Will it be winners, prop bets? And with these sort of things, like you want to diversify your bets, right? So with golf, do you like to just bet on a bunch of different guys to win or just throw it out on a bunch of various props?
I mean, I love to take winners, and then I like a couple top 5. So that way, you know, like going into the PGA, I had 3 out of the top 5 alive on Sunday. And, you know, when you go down, the odds get crazy pretty fast. And there's some premier names where you're getting really long odds that you got to love. So what I'd love you to do, Joel, is out of this group of, you've already taken Bubba, but Patrick Reed, Matsuyama, Matt Wolff, Tony Finau, and Tommy Fleetwood, you got to take at least 2 of those at 33-1. I mean,
Tommy Fleetwood's actually 55-1, so I see good value there.
Ooh, so it moved. Yeah, so take him.
Sam, is there something that happened with Fleetwood in the past day that we don't know about that moved the line?
No, he just hasn't been playing very well.
Okay, so but if we've seen the cranberry juice do anything, it's the season of Fleetwood. So he's going to win the tournament. They're going to let that guy ride down a skateboard and put on the green jacket. It'll be great.
He's a great ball striker. Wet conditions.
Wet conditions, 55-1. I like that Tommy Fleetwood. And those odds, not bad at all.
He's going to spill the cranberry juice on the green jacket, immediately get arrested. Some Augusta bylaw.
Yeah, and I was just joking there. No way is Augusta letting the cranberry juice guy in there. Okay, so Tommy Fleetwood, we've got $40 left to play with. Do I want to? What about some of these lower tier guys for top 10? Because if you look at the payouts, it becomes 10-1. Couldn't I bet the bottom 5 guys to hit the top 10 and maybe one of them hits?
I wouldn't do that. I like the. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I would not do that. I like the middle odds. I like the guys where they're beat up a little bit in terms of the perception, but they're right there. I mean, nobody wants to pick Patrick Reed because he's a dick, and everybody hates him. Like I've just never seen anybody root for Patrick Reed. But here's a guy that you could take at 28-1 and be happy with it.
Or what about we bet on the letdown? We know Patrick Cantley won the Zozo. He's riding high off that. He's got to go hit in the rain and the sleet. He's plus 325 to miss the cut. I mean, that seems like a fun wager to me.
I don't mind it. I like it.
Yeah, because golf is such a psychological game. You need to be finely tuned. You need to be hungry. And if you just have that payoff of success, you're not going to be as sharp.
Yeah, no doubt. And you got to think about, I deserve this mentality, right? He just won one. He's saying, I deserve to enjoy my life. It's COVID. We're at Augusta. There's great food here. Oh, there might be a rain delay. Maybe I have a couple drinks. That throws me off. He's out.
He's going to take out his phone, look at his victory from last week. He gets to actually keep that trophy. So if you get to keep that trophy, what's a leased jacket to you? Not much.
Yeah, no doubt. And again, to get back to Finau, who I feel like I bet every tournament he plays in, the guy has no pressure on him. He's a Mormon. He doesn't touch caffeine. He doesn't touch alcohol.
Ooh.
He's there for one reason. And he's a guy with that really short compact swing. He doesn't really unleash the full swing that often, but if anybody can do it and the time to do it would be now. So I'm selling you on Finau, Joel.
You're selling me on
10 for Finau.
Finau, do we want Finau to win, or maybe we know Finau can get in the top 5? So
what are the odds in top 5?
Top 5 on Finau are plus 550.
Yes.
Yeah, so those are great odds actually. So we're gonna put Finau plus 550. We got $10 more, baby. And just
are you not betting Tiger?
I'm gonna bet Tiger.
The story, the repeat.
You better.
I mean, I'm more inclined to bet Phil than Tiger. I mean,
Brian, do you bet Tiger every tournament?
Oh, I'm black, right?
Brian's only placed one bet ever, and it was Alex Caruso to win Finals MVP.
It was a lock.
I'll argue that you should have won it. He took Dwight Howard's starting job in the deciding game. Yeah. So to take Dwight Howard's importance away from a championship, that's the MVP right there.
That is the MVP. Okay, what about any love for Jason Korkrak? Is that a name? Is that real?
I see Jason Day, 30-1. Jason Kokrak, 100-1. Why'd you pull him up, Bri?
It was in the chat. Some people are Kokrak fans.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Our inner city viewers. Ronald Reagan taught that guy how to golf. And I do see just the names. I feel like there's really good value in Fleetwood 55-1, Adam Scott 50-1, and I don't know, maybe Tiger's 45-1, but I kind of like that Tiger top 10 plus 350, given his knowledge of the course.
Yeah,
dude, where are you getting these odds? Because an hour ago Tiger was only 28-1. So
I'm at DraftKings,
dude. Hammer Tiger.
20
on Tiger.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 20 on Tiger. Any action on Webb Simpson? I like that name. I like the Simpsons. I'm inclined to support a Webb Simpson. Treehouse of Horror.
He's not the guy. Like right there. I prefer Jason Day. If if you're going to go in that band of odds, you've got Matthew Wolff already, right? You put money on Matthew Wolff. That's my guy.
Matthew
Wolff
Wolff
top 5. Hammer it.
And be honest,
Hammer it.
do you have a little relation to Matthew Wolff via marriage?
No, I wish I did. Honestly, I'd be cleaning his clubs this weekend, but same name as my wife. I'll admit that, but it's more the funky swing. I love the aggression. I love that he's a trailblazer. You love the competitive spirit to be able to finish rounds off. He's already been a champion, not at Augusta, but Matthew Wolff, he hits it long, hits it far. He's composed. Bet him.
And just back to your previous point, like it's important to shop around for odds with the Masters because there's huge differences from book to book. Like, for example, Justin Rose, he's plus 5,000 at BetMGM, but he's plus 8,000 at DraftKings. Like, that's a big difference. You don't want to be kicking yourself for a winner and just because you didn't get the best odds. So I'll be shopping. I'll be trying the best ones. And some people have like pretty good odds, like Tyrrell Hatton plus 2,500, decent odds. And like, I think this note's from you, Sam. You've never even heard of him, right?
Well, I have. I assume you have.
He's English. He's hot right now. Finished third at Shadow Creek, 7th in Houston. So maybe I'll be inclined to back that one.
Yeah, and he's kind of like the anti-Bryson bet in a lot of ways, in my opinion, because he hammered the par 3s in Houston. So you're going to go, great, you're hitting it super long, Bryson. My guy just takes care of business on the par 3s. It might be a nice hedge.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. So maybe I'll look at Tyrrell Hatton, and that's a good name. He sounds like a boxer, so I want to support him. And any love for Scotty Scheffler plus 6,600?
Hell no.
Hell no, we hate him. Nothing.
Dude,
on Scotty.
I'm really loving because now I'm on DraftKings. I was on CBS before, and the odds were completely different. I love the top 5. I mean, I almost want to say every bet that we pick to win, we got to move it over to a top 5.
Yeah, because then we could win 5 times.
Yeah, the odds are great for top 5 and top 10, especially as you go down the list a little bit. Like Fleetwood top 10 plus 400 plus 800 for top 5.
And and you make money in gambling not for the long shots on the conservative wagers that are likely, but the odds aren't commensurate with it. So maybe there is something to these top 5s and top 10s.
Yeah, as soon as you get out of the top, I mean, it makes sense. Like once you get down to like 7, 8, then the odds start getting really good for top 5. So they don't have to play completely over their heads, but just play a pretty good week and you're in. And again, it's some of the names we talked about: Morikawa plus 600. Bubba plus 600, Finau plus 550, spread it around.
And honestly, if you were to just do the top 10 for this middle band, if you're like, okay, 10 on Wolff plus 350, 10 on Tiger plus 350, 10 on Tommy Fleetwood plus 400, if just one of those hits, you're covering your margins. And this is sort of like, it's like an if bet. You're cheering for 2 of them to get it. If you hit 2, you're having a banner day. I think that's what I'm going to try, actually.
What you're trying to say is you literally can't lose with these picks. These are locks.
They're all locks. It's like what Augusta has on the minority entrance.
Tiger's there. Yeah, that's all. Enough.
Tell you what, they have a troubling past, and by past I mean until 2012. Oh man, they are. It's rough. It's a rough history.
Yeah,
Brian?
No, they're getting there. They're getting there. I think they hired a black officer in the organization, so they're getting there.
Look, you're not even allowed to wear a backwards hat as a patron, so I think that's the rule that really shows the world, hey, we're welcoming you.
We're almost there. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of really shocking rules, but they're trying to make it all better because Lee Elder is going to be one of the ceremonial starters moving forward. The first black guy to ever play there.
Right.
In 75.
Yeesh.
What?
Yeesh.
Oh, man.
But we're going to have a great time wagering on this golf. What else can you gamble on at 12 o'clock on a Thursday? It's going to be an awesome tournament. So just to recap, we are on Woods, top 10. We are on Wolff, top 10. We're on Bubba Watson to win. We're on Tommy Fleetwood, top 10. And then are we on Bryson to win 9-1? Is that worth it?
Ooh.
Yes.
We're on Bryson to win. We're on Brooks Koepka to miss the cut. And we spent $30 more. And of course, we're on no hole-in-ones from South African players. That's a lock. We're on we're on John Rahm to be the first Spanish finisher. And then I think we got 2 more bets we can make. And any tournament props, how about, plus 2,000, any player to score a 62 or lower.
I like that bet. Off the top of my head, I'm trying to think if Tiger's ever even done that. Maybe in 97. I want you to double down on Matthew Wolff, top 10 and to win.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'd like you to do that with Bubba. I mean, those are two that I don't know why. I just feel really good about those two. So I want them for the top 10, but I want them to win too.
All right.
I love it.
We at the Props Network, we're back in Wolff and Bubba. Do you like that, Sam?
Yeah, I've got one long shot though. I'm curious for Noah's thoughts on though.
Okay, what's your long shot?
Brendan Todd
is his long.
200 to 1, or we can get about plus 1,500 on a top 10. Has had quietly an amazing year. They remind us every 5 seconds that he used to suck, but now he doesn't on the broadcast. And I wonder if Noah could see throwing a shekel or two on him for a win or to place.
And
what are the odds? What are the odds to win again? 200 to 1.
Yeah, Brendan Todd is plus 20,000 to win, plus 33 to 1 top 5, 14 to 1 top 10, and he's been playing great. I think Sam only recommended him because he's from Pittsburgh, and Sam's from Pittsburgh. And does he play at your course?
No, and I'm also not from Pittsburgh. So.
You're from Pittsburgh. I'll believe it when I see the birth certificate. He's the Obama of the Props Network.
Well, I'll tell you who is from Pittsburgh. This is going to be a really circular edition. Brooks Koepka's great uncle, the great Dick Groat, who played shortstop for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and he also played basketball and baseball at Duke. So I was doing a Duke game one time, and people were like, Zion's going to run out of that tunnel. I'm like, yeah, but at least it's not Dick Groat.
Oh, so good.
I mean, what's the guy's name? Justin Todd?
Brendan Todd.
Brendan Todd. It sounds like sounds like the Robin who died in Batman. Any nerds out there?
I'm gonna be back in Brendan Todd. I'm pulling up the stats, and he did okay at the Zozo. He did okay at Bermuda, so might be all right. He finished the Zozo tied for he was under par, so that's great.
Listen, take him for top 10 and take him to win. You put 5 on each.
5 on each.
No, you're getting some props for that Dick Groat call out.
Thank you. Thank you. Dick Groat.
If you see that baseball player between your legs, go see a doctor. So Noah, thank you for coming on. Thanks for talking the Masters with you. I hope to have you on again talking hoops. But where can we find you?
All right, so you can find me on Instagram at YoIt'sTheSav.
Great handle.
Or go to thechipking.com to get this beautiful merch that I'm rocking, this Chip King hat. As you can see, it's a beautiful design incorporating potato chips and these cross clubs here.
Beautiful.
And watch the web series. You can find my my YouTube, Noah Savage, or just go to thechipking.com. You know, I started playing golf seriously this year, or a lot this year. I don't know, seriously. So it's just taking you through my journey to try to break 90 for the first time. And I got drone shots. I play some gorgeous courses. I played a Jack Nicklaus signature course the other day. That's the new episode 3 that's out.
And hearing all this work that goes into it, you can tell why the polo shirts are $60.
Yeah. Well, I put those. So I'm working with this company, and I was like, they didn't tell me how much it costs to make the shirts. So I put them up for 40 for like a day. And then the guy hit me up, was like, yo, dude, those cost 38 to make. What the hell are you doing? You can't sell them for 40. So I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. So go to thechipking.com, buy some hats so I have something to eat for Thanksgiving dinner, you freaking golf maniacs.
Yeah, if you
The
don't,
hat is dope. The hat's dope.
The
Get
hat is great. I'm going to get a hat.
if you don't buy
Thank
a
you.
Chip King hat, the Chip King will be eating chips on Thanksgiving.
Oh, no doubt. And the other thing is, the nickname isn't ironic. I have the softest hands in the game. I chip in. I'm going to make an outrage. I chip in once every 3 rounds. I chip it into the hole.
Ooh.
All right.
That's what I do. That's my life.
We should put
So
the bets
check
on
me out.
you. We should put the bets on you for Sunday.
We have sportsbook connections. We should put out a line on when you break 90.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to put out the Chip King betting line, and all of our Props Network listeners, they can bet for or against you.
Yeah, and if you look on my Instagram, there's a couple previews where you can look at my swing and you can kind of gauge. I got one comment. I ran a Facebook ad and I got like 20,000 views on it, and the only comment I got was, "This guy's swing sucks."
Well, I mean, you got one thing in common with Charles Barkley: great broadcaster, terrible golf swing. That's all you need.
No doubt. And that would be my dream golf foursome would be Barkley, Jordan, me, and Phil.
Nice.
That would be my dream foursome, but we wouldn't golf. Noah Savage, thank you for coming on. Have a great week, and always enjoy hanging out with you.
No doubt. Enjoy the Masters, guys. Talk to you later.
See you now.
Noah Savage, what a guy. What a fun hang. We always have fun on the walk-on. We had fun walking through what we learned from the NFL this weekend and how we're going to apply it. We figured out how we're going to spend $100 on the Masters, and that's the walk-on experience. We give you a veritable cornucopia of different sports knowledge, insights, and sometimes it'll just be my doofus ass trying to stumble my way through a golf conversation.
You did great.
But if you work hard and you show enthusiasm, you'll be just fine.
It's Peyton Manning. That's the Peyton Manning rule.
And we'll be back Wednesday. We're going to have a deep dive into why we're supporting the Warriors NBA futures with Dan Yang. And then Eli Sayers is going to join us for Wild Wednesdays. We're going to be talking college football, doing some roast jokes, having some fun. And until then, you can follow all of our stuff on the Props Network. And for TP and the Walk On, for Brian Mitchell and my good friend Sam, this is Joel Walkowski walking off.